We're on.
You win some, you lose more.
It's raining, but the footy is heating up. Thursday night footy is here with AFL Today, brought to you by Tab, ready to go for round 2. I'm your host, Liam McAllion, also known as the Stats Guy. Now, usually, we've got the partners in crime. Only one of my partners in crime is here today. He's fired up as an Essendon fan, Marcus Bazzano, but no Liam Mullaly. How you going, Marcus?
I feel weird, like there's a part of my heart that's just gone. Oh. No Leo, no Cricket Today originality, boys. We're not here, but
that's all right.
I know, get the blink counter out. I reckon it was quite a few less than Alex in the last show.
We had a few comments actually about the blinks in the intro. I don't know how many blinks I did. I was trying to stare down the camera.
That was pretty
eyes
good.
Wide open. But I think I did all right.
It was straight down the barrel, look in the eyes, like serial killer, almost unsettling vibes.
Whoa, all right. I don't know if I want that. I'll work on that. I'll work on that. Thursday night's preview show is, of course, brought to you by Tab's AFL Missed by One. If your disposals leg misses by one, Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Download the Tab app today. What are you really gambling with? All right, another awesome show. We've got the news ticker, as always. A few different things, a few re-signings, a few little stats in there. Then we're going to go through every single game. We're going to go through the teams. We love going through the teams. You've already had a sneaky look. You've had a sneaky look. There's a few big-ins.
There is a few big-ins, and particularly on Sunday, there's a couple of key players going in. But beautiful. Let's get into it.
So, because it's Thursday night, we're going to go through every game, Friday to Sunday, as well as the big calls, what to keep an eye on. Big calls. There's actually, I think there could be some big margins, but we'll touch on that. Because,
a couple blowouts.
The opposite of what I predicted last week, which I said...
which didn't get up, by the way, which failed immensely.
You got a half tick, I think, according to Alex.
I said Kako, what did I say? Kako, Guinea, and Watson combined for 10. I mean, they got 6. So, I mean,
was it 6? I thought it was 8.
They only got 6. So I think that's a generous half tick for me.
I reckon that's a bit lucky. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are flying at the moment. We're very happy.
We are.
The soft count, I think, is about 4.2 or something like that. So
I can get you the exact count if you want. You might have to give me a couple seconds. Soft count is 4.32.
Oh, 4.32. We've gone up even more. No, we'll take that. We'll take that. Follow AFL Today across all the socials. That's X, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook is Aussie Rules Today, including our Yeah Nah Beers social posts. So we've been doing a few Yeah Nah questions on there. And we're going to do a giveaway with them next week for some beers, hats, T-shirts. We'll be wearing them on some of the socials. So check them out. And if you like,
it's
look
good
at
gear.
Them. Yeah, it's good gear. It's mainly questions, so you can answer them in the comments with Yeah Nah. So why not?
Let us know in the comments. Current subscriber, I got the exact number.
Oh, okay.
4,322.
4,322. Don't mind that.
Superb.
Thanks, mate. You're actually helpful.
We're gonna get a target by the end of the round. 4.4.
Yeah,
end of the round.
I reckon you've stepped up in Leo's absence already. We don't even need Leo.
Oh, Leo.
That's a bit sick.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, you're up to the mic. Very nice.
Up to the mic.
All right. News ticker is the first one we'll start off with, as always. First of all, I feel like Geelong are featuring a lot in this news ticker, but they just re-signed pretty much their whole forward line this week. So they re-signed Jezza, Jeremy Cameron, and Ollie Henry till 2027, and Shannon Neal till 2028. What do we think about that?
Locking the mid-sized tools away. It's good. Obviously, I think there's a lot of high expectation on Shannon Neal. Jeremy Cameron's one of the best players in the competition.
Absolutely.
And I think Ollie Henry is actually one of the most underrated forwards in the competition.
Really?
I really like Ollie Henry. Absolutely.
Yep.
When he was leaving Collingwood, I would have taken him in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Oh, he was actually homesick from living an hour away from Geelong, apparently. That is still a joke. But that's a really good lock for their forward line because obviously Tomahawk's gone. You've got a couple of young guys there and Jez is still staying around. So,
but I think it's more about St Kilda getting absolutely mugged off again.
Yeah.
Sam DeConey.
Continue that. He
will re-sign.
Kane Corn said that yesterday, I think. Yeah,
I think you said he's gonna stay as well. So
who
can they get?
Did they offer him 17 million like Finn Callahan?
No, what was it? They brought it out. I think it wasn't that much. I think it was only 1.5, 2 mil. I think it was around that ballpark.
What are you on here? If that's only just a little bit for you.
Not enough. Come on.
One day.
Well, you haven't even introed the shirt that we've got.
I was going to do that in the North preview, but I'm happy to talk about it now.
Yeah, stand up. Come on, show the camera.
I'll show the camera. We got the Cherry Good from Marcus and Leo themselves.
Yeah.
The Carlton Draft. I'll give them a little shout out. They do really good t-shirts.
Been a while since you've actually put that on.
I wore the Cheezels ones in opening rounds.
Yep.
And then this one is the Cherry. Best ruckman in the league, so I got to rep him at some point.
He is.
He is? Oh,
he is. I think he's well and truly up there. Him or Gorn.
There you go. We've already got some North chat.
And they're playing against each other. So
yeah, that's what I'm going to touch on. That's going to be very exciting. Couple more things in the news ticker. Pendles and Sidebottom. Now, they play their 308th game together on Friday night, which, stats guy here, I got to provide some stats, which is an AFL record. 308 games together. They take over McLeod and Edwards for the Crows. It shows how old they are, but it shows how consistent they've been.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's not many players that even get to 300 games on their own to play with each other for 308 games.
Yeah.
Surely they're sick of each other by now.
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I think they're really good mates, but maybe they are. Sidebottom used to have hair, so he's getting on.
There you go. He shows his age.
Yeah.
Pendle's not so much.
Well, Pendles was the sub last week. Which is the first time ever, I think. So,
True.
308 games together that's a bloody good effort.
And apparently he's got the extra year
Pendles
on the contract on the table already.
Ooh.
If he doesn't cop a major injury this year, so if he doesn't cop a major injury, there is a 1 year offer on the table.
If I was Pendles, I'd just be going, rest me forward, just let me play forward.
Yeah,
and
I think he just wants to get to the most games VFL AFL games.
Well, I hope he doesn't do that. Boomer Harvey 432 is the most games.
I think if he plays next year and plays majority this year,
he probably deserves it, to be fair, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Nah, you don't reckon?
I think Boomer was probably better.
Yes. Come on, Boomer.
In my opinion. That might be a bit harsh, but...
My favourite ever North player. News sticker. I've got a lot on North here. I need to get back on track.
Yep.
The last one in the news sticker, just rolling into the game previews for this one. The Suns and the Giants, for people that don't know, have the bye in round 2. So obviously there was a few other teams with the Cyclones supposed to have a bye, but the Suns and Giants have the bye.
What was this? We throwback to 2010. No Suns, no Giants. This is real footy.
The two newest
teams.
Get
around it.
That is very true.
The two expansion teams. Smart by the AFL because I guess that's a lesser crowd gone to both games.
We do love the Suns. There's a few Suns fans.
I love both teams. But
you're right. That is a throwback because it's without the league without them.
Yeah, true.
And no Tassie obviously just yet. But anyway, that's the news ticker for this weekend. Let's get into what we all want to talk about. Round 1 game previews. We're going to go through the teams, just a few stats, the markets as well with Tab, which we always love. And then we're going to give our tips and margin for the game. All right, so first up, Friday night. This is a huge game. Western Bulldogs or Footscray for their 100-year anniversary. So the Footscray Bulldogs, they're throwing it back. I like that. Just a quick.
Just Footscray, not Footscray Bulldogs. Just call them Footscray.
They tried to change it to Western to include all the Western suburbs, but Footscray sounds way cool.
Footscray, yeah, I love the sound.
Footscray as
Footscray sounds very wog.
What was his name? Oh my god, the furniture set. Oh my god, I can't remember his name.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Franco Cozzo, that's it. Franco Cozzo. Footscray, he would be loving this. That they're called Footscray versus Collingwood Friday night, 7:40 at the MCG.
Well, they requested it, so it's at their own doing. But it's at their own doing.
Why did Collingwood get another game at the MCG? Are they even playing away from the MCG other than Gatto?
Was it Pendles hasn't played in Geelong before?
No.
Is that the stat?
Yeah. Or Tassie probably.
What a joke.
I don't think he would have played in Tassie either.
Absolute joke.
That is a joke. All right, let's get into the teams. We'll go with the home team first, which is the Footscray Bulldogs. Start us off, please.
We will. Yeah, well, Footscray obviously coming off the wing against North Melbourne. They make a couple of changes. Buku Kamis comes into the team along with Oscar Baker, and out goes Luke Cleary and James O'Donnell. So pretty similar team.
Very young.
They don't really need to change too much. Obviously, they've still got a lot of big name players out. But looking forward to what the Dogs can do. Be a lot tougher test.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because they still don't have Bont, Treloar, who are their All-Australian types.
Jones, key defender. Cody Waitman's probably one of their best forwards.
And James O'Donnell, so he was playing on Suva, Lucky.
Yeah.
And Suva kicked 5. So that I think he's got dropped for Buku. So Buku, I think he's pretty solid, Buku, because he's a bit more athletic.
Yeah.
But he's a little bit smaller than James O'Donnell. And then Luke Cleary, obviously that really bad concussion. So obviously that's why he's out. But their team's really young. Matthew Kennedy stepped up last week.
Yep.
Who else? Vandermeer. North made him look
Vandermeer was very good. Joel Frazier off half-back was very good.
Yep.
Especially for Supercoach users. But
he was.
Sam Darcy was a player who killed Collingwood last time they played. So keep an eye out for Sam Darcy on Friday.
Because Sam Darcy versus Darcy Moore.
It might be a bit wet tomorrow. I'm not sure.
I had a look. It's not raining. So it is raining in Melbourne currently for the Thursday night game, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain tomorrow night, which will be good for Sam Darcy. On the Collingwood side, some big names. Literally in Mason Cox, the big 7-footer, the big Texan is back.
Oh, how is he still in the AFL?
Goggle Cox, as they call him. How's he still in the AFL?
He's done one thing in his career, and it was against Richmond in the final series.
He dominated Richmond that night.
He did.
He's got a flag. He's the only American to have a flag.
He does have a flag.
That's pretty good. He can say whatever he wants. He's got a flag. He got through eye surgery.
And he's one of the only Americans not to have a gun.
Well, we don't know that.
So
I don't know that.
Well, I hope he doesn't.
He's from Texas. Like, chances are he probably does have one. I don't know. That's
Texas.
That's another. What are we doing accents on this show for? We might get killed. No, we'll be right. Next one that is in is Jordan De Goey. So he's a huge in. Yep. I know he's been injured and in and out of the side a lot, but I think that's a really good in. They come in for Brody Meyercheck and Lockie Sullivan. So we might have to double check that. Maybe you have a check for me, Marcus.
I will.
I don't mind Lockie Sullivan coming out. He's still sort of progressing in his career. You got to bring De Goey back in.
Yep.
But you obviously want Meyercheck over Mason Cox. So surely he's injured or they're just resting him maybe.
I will check that out for you. You might have to go into tab first and I'll find that out for you.
No, that's all right. I'll have a quick look at the team as well. So we got Dan Houston. I think he's going to have a really good game. At the MCG, he loves dominating the MCG. And then Libber as well. He loves playing against Collingwood. 25 plus disposals in 7 of his last 8 matches there. I'll get into the odds with tab because there's a few really good markets there.
Just quickly, if I wanted to jump in. My check while we're still talking about the teams, it's just general soreness. So I think it's probably just a week out.
Give him a rest because he's getting a little bit older.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call. All right, back to Tab. There we go. Brought to you by Tab. These odds. Footscray Bulldogs are $2.50 head-to-head compared to the favourites being last week. Collingwood, $1.53. My best bet in this one, though. Now, this is a little bit of a rogue one, but stay with me, punters, because I really think he's going to go well. Dan McStay, 2+ goals, is $2.15. Now, a lot of people would go, why are you putting Dan McStay? He's so up and down. 3 goals last week and has kicked 2+ goals in 11 of his last 15 games. Surprisingly consistent if he stays out on the field. So he's my best bet of the week with 2+ goals. All right, that's with Tab. What do we reckon, Marcus? There's a tip in this one. Margin as well.
Margin. Well, I'm just going to give you some breaking news. I know this show will be out by the news is out.
Yeah, breaking news for us.
Just for you anyways.
Yep.
No Harry Mackay tonight. He's laid out against the Hawks due to illness.
Blues lose by 40+.
Blues definitely have the Blues now. So
yeah, geez, that's not good.
We'll get back to the Footscray Collingwood.
Who do you reckon?
Collingwood win this comfortably.
Yep.
I think I'm going to go 5-6 goals.
Ooh, I'm going to get into my margin later in the big calls, but I agree. I think Pies by, I'm going to say at least 30-40+ because genuinely the Dogs are so young. They're missing Bont. They rely on Bont, and some of their goal kickers were just a bit off last week. So
yeah.
Pies, I know they were bad the first week, but they dominated last week against Port. And at the MCG, Dogs hardly ever play there. They're 2-5 in the last 4 seasons. So yeah, got to go the Pies in this one. All right.
Agreed.
Saturday, the first one, your beloved Essendon Bombers taking on the Adelaide Crows at Marvel Stadium. Actually, sorry. I'm pretty sure that one is at the MCG. I don't know why I wrote in Marvel Stadium. Yeah. MCG, yeah.
St Kilda play at Marvel Saturday night.
Yes, correct. They swapped them around. So Essendon versus Adelaide at the MCG, 120. All right, I'll go to you first, Marcus. Your beloved Essendon. They've got a few changes, or what are we looking at with the teams?
Yeah, similarly to the Dogs, 2 changes. Obviously, they were both forced changes with Jordan Ridley out with that concussion after he got whacked across the face, and Kyle Langford out as well, 4 to 6 weeks with his hammy. So in comes Big Tommy Edwards, the SSP pick. He played well. He's a bit of a tall, but he's also actually quite versatile on the ground as well.
Okay.
He kicked a few goals in the pracky against the Dogs, but I think he's just there to crash packs, and in comes him. Another small forward, Jai Menzies, replaces.
I don't know about that one.
So 2 forwards coming into the side, but I've got Jai Menzies. It's weird. Last season they rotated him a little bit down back and here and everywhere.
Yeah. Where do you want to see him?
Forward.
Forward. Yeah.
He just needs to stay in the forward pocket.
Yep.
He was the one who got that controversial deliberate rush behind call.
That's right.
Against Geelong. Mm-hmm. I think it was Geelong or Melbourne. I think it was Geelong. But those 2 coming for the Dons. So other than that, everything still the same.
Yeah, that's all right. I really liked Caldwell last week. Caldwell and Merritt, if you didn't have them, that could have been a 50+ ball game, I reckon, against the Hawks. Caldwell looks so good. He was like a Rolls Royce. He
was, 36. He
and
looked
a goal.
Very good.
Yeah, so I really like him in this one. For the Adelaide side of it, no changes. Why would you have changes when you win by, I think it was about 60 points against the Saints, which was really good there. Their midfield looked really strong. Their forward line looks really strong. Even their back line, I know they're not the biggest names going around. They're saying Rory Ledd's playing back pocket again. I'm pretty sure he played midfield, but...
No, he played down back. He played sort of half-back sort of role.
Yeah. His old role, because that was where he first started.
Yep.
Their forward line, honestly, put Tex as the sub or something, because I know they're wanting there for the experience, but you got Thilthorpe, Rankin, Fogg, and Rochelle all kicking goals last week.
But Tex did his thing. He did his thing, and he actually played quite well against the Saints. I only watched probably almost 3/4 of that game, but he did play quite well. But look, there's some interesting things here. Dylan Shield pushed to the extended bench as well.
Oh, so
could he be the sub?
He should have been dropped. He was so bad.
Menzies might be the sub. I don't know. Don't know.
He shouldn't be allowed to wear the fluoro boots. I feel like you have to be good to wear fluoro boots.
Yeah, if you're standing out with the boots, you got to be half decent.
You got to at least hit a target. A few stats in this one. Crows have lost the last 10 straight games at the MCG. So I thought this was at Marvel, and I was like, oh crap, it's at the MCG.
Yeah.
And they've also lost to the Bombers 7 of the last 8 meetings. So that's not a good combo for the Crows.
But the one they did win was in
last year.
It was last year at Marvel. Was that Marvel?
Marvel, that's right.
They won by 2 points.
That was the Ben Keys legacy game, I'm calling it.
Yeah,
he had 22 disposals, 5 goals.
Yeah. He was unreal that game.
He was crazy.
But I think similarly to what Essendon struggled with, Adelaide forward line, those small forwards. You look at I'm going to class Ben Keys as a small forward.
Oh yeah,
we'll go Ben Keys, rank him when he flows down there. Rochelle, those sort of guys. I think Neil Bullen. I think they'll all chip in with a goal or two here and there because Bombers just typically struggle with that. Yeah,
I'm even leaning towards Kako for a few goals as well because I think their talls are really good in defence, but their smalls aren't as good. Like Laird's going to run off if he's playing in backline in the defence. So and a few other players do as well. So that'll be interesting. Looking at the odds brought to you by Tab, Essendon $2.25 with their head-to-head. Adelaide $1.65. They're the favourites, even though they haven't won at the G in 10 straight games. I think it's since 2017 they haven't won at the G, which is an interesting one. My best bet in this one, I just talked him up before. I think he's Essendon's Rolls Royce when he's at his best, when he's not injured, and he's hitting targets. Jai Caldwell, 20-plus disposals and to kick a goal at $3.20. A bit of value there is my best bet. He had 36 and a goal last game. We watched him at the MCG. He was incredible. I was just very happy with his game. And he had this exact stat line, 20 and a goal, last time he played the Crows. So there's a little bit of confidence there. I think he'll float forward, and he's a very attacking player. So 20 and a goal, I think, is pretty doable there.
All right. Should we get to the margins? Who's going to win?
I think we might be split on this one, which is rare this weekend, but who are you going with?
As an Essendon fan, I can't not...
Where's your rip jersey?
I can't not... It's just up there, actually. I can't not pick the Bombers. I don't think we're bad against Hawthorn.
No, you weren't, no.
We got a couple of big outs, yes. Adelaide have looked good. They've got a good side, but as an Essendon fan or as a fan of any club, you have to go into games like these not expecting a win. That sounds pretentious, but like...
I know what you're saying.
Like, this is a game you should be winning.
Yeah, because you're at home.
At home against a side that is probably similar to us, I'd say. So I'll go just. I'll say it's within a kick. I'll go a few points.
I'm in agreement that it's going to be close, but I'm leaning towards Adelaide. I'm not taking too much from last week because I reckon Saints will be bottom 4. They had so many injuries, the Saints. They look so bad.
They were really bad.
And Adelaide are also a lot better at home, as we just talked about. They don't win at the Gs. But I'm going Adelaide by a goal. It'll be really close. I think it'll be similar to that Marvel game last year. Ben Keys let off the chain a bit and he'll kick a few goals, which would be pretty cool.
Please no.
So, but Caldwell, I think will play pretty well. But Adelaide by 6 for me.
Yep.
All right. That's the first Saturday game. Next one up is Port Adelaide taking on Richmond. Richmond obviously won last week, so they'll be fired up.
Somehow.
Port absolutely got smashed by the Pies, so they want a bit of revenge this week. Saturday, 4:15 at the Adelaide Oval. Let's go through the teams, Marcus. You can start off with Port Adelaide.
Yeah, Port Adelaide. Expecting big things because of how poor they were last week against Collingwood. But Jeremy Finlayson comes out, and in comes a debutant, Christian Moraes.
I think that's right, yeah.
Moraes. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, but look, I gave it my best shot.
Get in the comments.
He'll come in onto the extended bench, so he could be the sub.
Yep.
The 5-man bench, so he could be the sub. So, look, other than that, it's very similar. They need to pull their head-ins a little bit here. I'm looking at the likes of Horn Francis, probably poor last week.
Yep.
And the likes of Willem Drew, even he had a poor game to his standards.
Even all their whole forward line did, but I think we were a bit harsh on their forward line when it wasn't coming down there that much. Like, their midfield needs to step up.
And the service was pretty poor, but look, hopefully they get a bit better service against the Tigs, which I expect them to do.
Yep.
So they need to improve.
They definitely need to improve. I don't mind their team. Even without Butters and a few of their defenders, it's still a pretty good team. So they should.
They're still good. They're probably relatively a little bit short down back, and in the forward line, it's good, but the synergy just probably isn't there. But Jack Lukosius looked half decent. He kicked his first goal for the Power.
I think their forward line is pretty exciting once they get going. So I'm hoping they can get going this week. For the Tigers, the ins and outs, we got Liam Fawcett making his debut. We've also got Caleb Smith coming in. He played a few games last year, I believe. I don't know too much about them, but they're gonna. Richmond fans are very excited for Fawcett.
Fawcett was going to replace Tom Lynch. As the tall. So hopefully he can kick a goal. Bit of youth, exuberance again.
Yeah. Well, last week their youth were their best players. Luke Traynor was killing it. Sammy Lawler.
Is Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval one of the most hostile sort of environments in AFL?
I've been to a North game there with the Never Tear Us Apart with the scarves going up. And it wasn't actually that hostile because they beat us by like 80 points. Ben Brown still kicked 6 of our 7 goals or something like that. That was a weird game. But I think when it's like a closer game or even at the start of the game, it's bloody hard to win over there.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I've got a sort of Adelaide background, and I know how Port can be.
Yes, absolutely. But then the outs for Richmond, you got Tom Lynch, as you mentioned. He bumped a bloke in the head, so fair enough.
Fair enough.
You can get a week off. Even though he's in my Supercoach team, but that's all right. And Tyler Sonsi, he didn't do much either. So I'm happy they got a debutant because that's just the Richmond way this year. I know they might not be that good, but they were really up and about last week. I don't know how they won.
They were quite good. Was it a case of Richmond being good, or was it a case of Carlton just being
we talked
really
about
bad?
This. Bit of both. I think Richmond's pressure was really good.
Yeah.
But Carlton just were like, like when Richard kicked a few goals, that's literally, I think Marco Voss in the box was just screaming. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, I agree. But they were better than expected, Richmond.
They were, yeah.
I think I know closely quite a few Richmond fans, and I think they'll be pretty happy if they lose every game for the rest of the year as long as they beat Carlton.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. That's like me as a North fan. All I want to beat is Essendon. We never beat Essendon.
We don't care about you. So.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that's all I care about. Richmond have also lost their last 11-day matches for a little bit of a stat there, so that's not good reading for a Richmond fan. And Port have won the last 4 meetings between the two. So Port, I know they got smashed by a lot last week, but yeah, that's fair enough. Let's get into the tab head-to-head odds to start with. Port Adelaide $1.11. I think that's going to be the same reading for most games against Richmond. Yep. Richmond $6.50. My best bet in this one is Mitch Georgiades. Now, he didn't do much last week. Their whole forward line didn't do much. I'm going 3+ goals for Big Mitchy G. He's kicked 3+ goals in 6 of his last 7 at the Adelaide Oval. He loves the home crowd. The Port fans absolutely love him. With a lot of their Todd Marshall's out and a lot of their players sort of out, he needs to step up, and he loves playing at Adelaide Oval. So 3+ goals. I'm all in on Mitch. There we go. All right, tip and margin, Marcus. What do we think?
Look, I know Richmond sort of defied the odds, and Port Adelaide were really poor, but I think it's a snap back to reality for Richmond, and Port need to get their season back on track. They'll come out firing, and I think they win by 7 goals. 7 goals. Ooh, yep. I don't mind that. I'm going Port by 30. Pretty similar. 5 or 6 goals, I reckon this will be. The other thing is this the first time you can lose by 91 and then you're the favorite, like heavy favorites in the next game? Very clear favorites. Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, that shows how weird our AFL season is at the moment. But I don't think Richmond can do it 2 weeks in a row. They're too young. 2 weeks in a row is a big ask for a young side. We're both going Port by a fair bit. Yep. All right, this is another big one. St Kilda versus Geelong, Saturday night, 7:35. Now, this one is at Marvel Stadium. I'm not going to get that one wrong. Yeah, I think this would be a pretty, I was going to say decent matchup. Geelong obviously smashed them last week. It is, though, because Geelong have a pretty poor record against St Kilda in general and at Marvel Stadium. Yeah, so the home team in this matchup has actually won the last 6 matches between these teams. Yep. And the last 3 times they've met at Marvel, the Saints have won. Yeah. So it's a bit of a surprising one. Including last year, I think it was round 23, one of the later rounds they actually beat Geelong. Geelong, I swear, have a winning record against everyone. Like, what's going on there? What are you doing, Geelong? You can't be losing to St Kilda. St Kilda is the bogey team. That's their old rival team when they were played in a grand final and was it back in my day? Yeah, 1920s. Back in the wars. What do you mean 90? It was like 10 years ago. Everyone in this. Oh, as in like early 2010s, late 2000s. Yeah, 10 years ago. Or 12, 15 years ago. I don't know. What year is it? What day is it? All right, let's get into the teams. Saints have a lot of changes. Quite a few changes. 4 changes, yeah. Well, I think they have to because they were really poor. So bad, yeah. But I tell you who was actually surprisingly really good for them. Who's that? Was Max Hall. He played really well up forward. Kicked a couple himself, dished some off that he could have kicked. Yep. But they make 4 changes. Isaac Keeler. Big expectations from him, from Saints supporters. That's his debut. Liam Stocker, Michito Owens comes back in the team. Is that the guy from the Hobart Hurricanes that made 100 in the final? Oh my God. No, different one. And Lance Collard come in for Zane Cordy, Showan Maker, Harry Boyd comes out for Supercoach users. Obviously, he's 99k in the ruck position. Yes. And Angus Hasty as well. And it's Hunter Clark's 100th as well. So, okay. I don't mind that. I'm surprised he's got to 100 already. But looking at the Saints team, Nass did really well. Wangneam Miller last week. He suffered a little bit from cramp, though, throughout stages late in the third and in the last. Hopefully he's all right. But literally the rest of the team, crap. Like, they really got to lift this week. 100%. McRae showed what he can do. What do you have, like 32? Yep. He was actually pretty handful solid. Of clearances, as much as Kane Corns like to say that he wasn't that solid. He was solid, yeah. He was one St Kilda player in that game that was trying his heart out of not many.
Yeah. And then the other team, Geelong, they don't make any changes. Why would you? There's a lot of teams last week that got smashing, so you don't need to make any changes unless you have injuries. I think they're going to look really strong. Even like their depth players, they're just so good. They get random guys like Zach Guthrie's turned into a jet. Lawson Humphreys, who was
really good.
He was like 60th pick.
Really
the guys that usually don't even get a game, he's killing it. Obviously Bailey Smith. Now Ross Lyon said he might tag Bailey Smith, but I reckon.
How good was he though? First proper game
in like
back.
A year and a bit. Yeah.
After a long injury, long stint in the sidelines. Didn't play in the prackies because of
crazy.
He played one.
No, he played
one, but he didn't play the official one against the Bombers.
Yeah.
And then he just comes out and plays like that.
Just the headband. It's powers in those headbands. It
suits well. It suits the Geelong kit really well.
It actually does.
It looks very clean.
Cotton On will be loving
He looks semi like old school in a way as well. I don't know.
Yeah. No, there used to be a few people. Brucey Dool with the flying doormat.
Mullet as well.
The mullet.
They share the mullet.
Bring back the headband.
True.
I think he might start a craze. Like some of the younger players coming through. I reckon there's going to be a few headbands. A few more stats in this one. Not stats, just a few points to talk about. Saints, I think, need to lift their defense. They're usually very defensive focused under Ross Lyon.
Yeah, they concede 130 plus against Adelaide.
That very rarely happens under Ross Lyon. I think they're trying to play a little bit more attacking, but they need to have that balance again.
Yep.
And then the Saints, they're still full of injuries, and the Cats, they just look like another level, as is mentioned in the odds with Tab. So the odds with Tab, St Kilda, $3.80 is their head-to-head. Geelong, $1.27. I think that's about right. The Saints, their team's not too bad, but Geelong should blow them out of the water. My best bet in this one is Mitchy Nevitt. He was really good in my Supercoach team. Mitch Nevitt, 20-plus disposals is $1.80. Really good one for your multis or things like that. He was really strong last week. 21 disposals, I think, on that wing against St Kilda. Both teams like to run the ball a lot. I think he's going to be killing it on the wing. 20-plus is one of my locks of the week, $1.80, I reckon, with Tab. There we go. All right. Tips and margin, Marcus. What do we reckon?
I like that. I think it's purely going to be the Cats, isn't it? They're going to
surely
blow them out the park. But we have said this about St Kilda before against Geelong.
Yeah, they've won the last 3 at Marvel.
But in saying that, look, I think Geelong should be too good for this team. 10 goals.
10
it's
goals.
Going to be a big one. This could be even bigger.
Jeez. I'm going to say 35 points just because of that past record. Geelong don't play at Marvel very often, so Geelong by 35. All right, we got to Sunday. I feel like we're going well here. Going through to Sunday, Brisbane versus West Coast, the blockbuster game.
Oh, this is going to be massive.
Not really. Brisbane versus West Coast, Sunday, 1:10 at the Gabba. Now, if I'm West Coast, I just got absolutely smoked last week by the Suns, their record win. And then you have to fly to the Gabba the next week when everyone's having a go at Harley Reid. Everyone's having a go at your fitness. Everyone's having a go at your goal kicking.
The West Coast fans are getting a little bit unsettled.
They are. They're a bit rattled. But this is the last place you want to go in AFL footy right now, in my opinion. Maybe there or the Cattery down in Geelong.
Yep.
You don't want to go to the Gabba after you've just got smashed. Exactly. I'd rather play
reigning premiers at their ground.
They never lose there. So
this is going to be a big margin. No spoiler, but yeah, there's a lot of changes actually for both sides. Oh my God,
you get into the Brisbane team yet?
Sam Day, Devon Robertson, Henry Smith, Will McLaughlin, Bruce Revel.
Bruce! I love
Brucey.
Yes.
And Dara Joyce as well come in. Obviously, there is the extended bench because it is the Sunday games. So a couple of those, most of those probably will not feature. But out goes, they made 3 forced changes with Starcevic, Lohman injured, obviously, and Darcy
He's a bit stiff. I thought he'd played
well.
right. But Sam Day coming in, apparently had a really big preseason. He was on Gold Coast list for a very long time.
Yes, he was.
And he used to be really solid, so I'm excited to see how he goes. Brucey Revel, he's a bit of a cult figure up there.
He is.
He's back in. And then...
you feel like Devon Robertson gets into this team?
Maybe.
Like he's one of the 3 that you're like,
he looks bloody good with his kit off. Remember he gained like 50,000 followers?
He did. Yeah, when his Guernsey got ripped.
That's the only thing I remember about Devon Robertson. So maybe do something this week, Devon, so I can remember you for something else.
What's his name going to come back in? Yeah, he loved the biff. He gained a bit of beef. He's still on their list. He plays in the VFL. I can't remember.
Oh, no, he's not anymore.
Is he not?
He used to have this celebration. What was his name?
Oh, Reece Matheson.
The beast.
Our brains just clicked together.
Beast mode.
I swear
no, they got rid of him.
No, got rid of him? Okay.
He was good vibes.
Okay.
Bit of a tool, but good vibes.
He'd
have one touch for the game, kick a goal, and go
start a fight.
Come on,
it's all him.
He was exciting though.
He was exciting. Let's get into this West Coast team.
Yeah, we're talking too much about Brisbane. West Coast. Actually, fair enough that we're talking about. We'll get into some West Coast team. We got to talk about them. Actually, you have some big ins. So you got Liam Ryan. Obviously, you know what you're going to get from him. He's going to kick a couple of goals. Jack Petricelli. Mimi, they call him the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I love that nickname. Harvey Johnston, Bo Allen. Bailey Williams, and then out goes Jake Waterman, who's a huge out. He was a bit sore, I think.
Yes, I think it was like a quarter or a hammy.
Yeah, so that's a massive out because obviously he led their goals last year, and Jack Hutchison goes out. Bo Allen, there's big raps for him to make his debut this week. That'll be really exciting. I think I even have him in Supercoach. He's been really good off halfback in the preseason, so I'm excited to see how he goes there. But yeah, just the depth, I'm not sure. Harley Reid was really off last game. I think the media really got into Harley Reid. I don't like him. I know he was starting fights and all that. Yeah. He wasn't concentrating on the footy. It's in his second year. Like, he kicked 12 disposals, kicked a goal. I don't know. Calm down. I need to calm down as well.
Horn Francis was at a similar sort of stage in his second year. Like, he was getting those sort of numbers. He was getting 15, 20 a goal.
Yeah. It's only his second year.
It's only his second year. Don't put a heap of pressure on him when West Coast aren't going to be that good.
And I'm the first person to talk down Harley Reid, but he'll be all right. he'll be all right, Eagles fans. So let's get into the odds with Tab in this one. As we just mentioned, it's very, very one-sided. Brisbane, $1.02, so don't back them. But there might be a bet that I'll get into for them. West Coast are $13 head-to-head. My best bet. Now, I'm so keen on this one. Brisbane minus 60.5 is their line at $1.90. You get $1.90 with Tab, and a lot of other bet bookies, you actually don't get $1.90 on this one. The last two meetings at the Gabba against the Eagles were 70-plus points, so that passes that 60.5 line. And I genuinely reckon this could be close to 80, 85, 100 points just because the two-way running for the Eagles isn't there. They couldn't even guard the Suns. You're taking it up to the Premiers now. That's going to be really tough to stop. So I'm going Lions by 80 points in this one, Marcus.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go the big 100.
I thought you should have gone 180.
I think there's going to be one this week. It's a shock. That's going to be my big call.
That's right, yeah.
I think this is probably the most likely game out of all of them to go over that mark.
Well, I actually don't mind that because that covers the line as well. But 80, I think 80 plus, and then you've gone 100.
100.
I don't mind that. The Gabatoir.
Big 100.
I don't mind that. We love a big call. All right. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it.
Here we go.
Big game.
Up.
Sunday, 3:20 at Marvel Stadium is North Melbourne versus Melbourne. The Melbourne rivalry. I don't know if anyone calls it that.
No one, because no one cares about these two clubs.
No, there is a few people that do, including myself in my cherry top on. Come on, big cherry. North Melbourne obviously just lost to the Dogs. It was a pretty close game. Melbourne should have beaten GWS in my opinion. 3-point game there.
Yes.
Let's get into the teams to start with before we break it down.
You know, I'll do Melbourne. I'll do the away.
All right, go first.
Because you can talk about your beloved Roos.
Thank you.
I'll go Melbourne. They've got two force changes to start off with.
Yes.
Caleb Windsor and Aiden Johnson out. The four that they've named in is Charlie Spargo, who's just he's a decent depth player. Daniel Turner, similarly. Bailey Laurie. They got five, sorry. Jed Adams and Taj Woden as well.
That's also to do with the extended bench, as we talked about on Sundays before.
Yep.
I don't mind that. Disco Turner, he can kick a few goals. He's got a cool nickname.
And they could have another debutant. It might not be because I think he's on the extended bench, but that's the seventh for Melbourne this year if he gets a gig.
That's crazy. Because
Jed Adams, that is.
Their debutants did really well last week.
They did. Xavier Lindsay was
really good. There was someone.
Jack Henderson was solid. I love the vibes of who's the forward that they grabbed?
Matthew Jefferson. He kicked. I think it's the fastest ever first goal in your first game.
No, I wasn't even talking about Matthew Jefferson. But
Jack Henderson.
Yeah.
There's two of them. Yeah.
Baldy. He seems like cult figure sort of vibes.
Like Nathan Jones.
Kicked a nice goal.
Nathan Jones. The new toe ball. Toey. They used to call Nathan Jones.
Just call him Thumb. Thumb. That's his new nickname.
Oh, that's a bit.
Heard it here first. Thumb.
We're never getting Jack Henderson on the show.
I'm sure he's probably got one from the boys already.
He's still a good looking man. Matthew Jefferson as well. He kicked his first goal in 16 seconds.
Unreal.
In his first kick.
Who did it better, Matthew Jefferson or 4 goals in a minute? Or 4 goals? 4 goals in 4 minutes. Murphy Reid.
I'd still go Murphy Reid. 4 goals in 7 minutes. I think it was. That was crazy. In terms of North Melbourne, I don't even know if I want to talk about this. Obviously, Jackson Archer goes out. That was a bit bullcrap. But stiff. I thought he might get 1, but 3, come on, AFL. Yeah. And then Griffin Logue, I genuinely think the Logie Bear, some people call him, he's actually a big out. I really like Griffin Logue. Okay. So that's 2 out of our backline. But we bring in the great Toby Pink. He's a bit of a cult hero.
Better not put him down forward like he did at stages last season.
Well, he kicked a couple of goals, but he's pretty good in defence. Come on. We don't really want to.
He didn't kick a goal in his AFL junior elite career.
Yeah.
And then he kicked his first.
Because he was a defender,
He kicked his first proper goal against the Bombers, actually, funnily enough.
Yeah. Which probably lost, but that's okay. Toby Pink comes in. Miller Bergman, which I really like. Dylan Stevens. Oh, just get rid of Dylan Stevens. Worst pickup we've had since Jared Pollock. Finbar Maley. and Bryn Tika, who I really like. So we've got an extended bench there. I don't think Maley or Stevens will probably get a game, but just for a bit of height, we'll probably bring in Pink, and Bergman is that Jackson Archer. Just very like for like there. Just the long flowing locks and can run off half back a little bit as well.
Like it.
All right.
And there's a big man playing his 300th for the Roos.
There is.
He's only played a couple for the Roos.
Oh, Roos legend, Jack Darling. No.
I saw North Melbourne put a post out on social media about Jack Darling, like legend. Falling in love, like best debut ever.
So I was talking to a lot of North fans at the game on the weekend. He kicked 1 goal. He actually played really well.
I'm telling you, he's a good get.
He's already a cult figure from 1 game at the Roos. And the
get.
fact that it's his 300th, him and Suva have got this like bromance.
Yes, and it frees up Suva too.
Yeah, so I like it. That's at least good. That's the only positive I've got for North probably. But this is a really bad stat that I didn't want to read out, but it's my job. North have lost their last 23 Sunday games. And you know how many...
You've probably been to all of them.
I've probably been to 18 of them because we always play on Sunday at home. And guess what we're playing this weekend? Sunday at home.
Sunday 3:20. Perfect North Melbourne time
Every
slot.
time I look at the stats, we got this, or I have a look myself, I go through, let's try and find a good stat. Nah.
Oof.
Last season as well, North lost by, 3 points. Demons almost choked a 39-point lead. That was a really good comeback by North, but honourable loss, of course.
That was at the G, yeah.
And then this is the one I'm a bit questioning. Poor defense from North last week and a questionable D's forwards line. So it will be interesting to see.
Yeah, it will be a good matchup, I think.
Yeah. All right, talking about the matchups with Tab as well. North Melbourne are $3.30 head-to-head. Melbourne is $1.34, pretty similar to the odds last week in the North Dogs game. Now, my best bet in this one, this man is in real good form, including the preseason games, the Indigenous game as well. Jai Simpkin, 25 plus disposals, is $1.90. Similar to Nevitt, I really like that one in a multi, or you can just go it if you want. It probably will get around that $2, $1.90 when the game starts. His last 3 matches against Melbourne, he's had 25 plus disposals, in really good form. He had 30, at least 30 last week, I know that for a fact, and he's in really good form as the Roos skipper. So jump on him for the best bet with Tab. All right, tips and margin. What do we think? Second last game of the round.
I think it's going to be close.
I'm changing mine after I talked down North.
I'm going to go Melbourne by 10 points. I think
10 points.
I think North Melbourne will be.
Is it bad that I would rather us lose by like 100 because we just always have these? No, I wouldn't rather that. But like we always have these stupidly close losses, and I just want a stupidly close win. Oh, but it's not honorable
You need
anymore.
a win. Well, come on, we need to do. North Melbourne players, if you listen to this, probably most definitely not. But please, get Stats Guy a win.
Come on, please. I do 3 shows a week and I don't get to talk us up.
He's actually 13 years old and look how old you've made him age.
Yeah. You're making me look old, North. No, that's not very nice. I've even had a trim. I reckon I look a bit younger. My tips in this one is D's by 20. I think probably going to be another honourable loss because that's just what we do. That's what we do. Anyway.
You need to stop having them honourable losses.
Oh, let's stop talking about North. It's going to make me too sad. Last game of the round. This, I reckon, is one of the best games of the round. Fremantle versus Sydney, Sunday, 6:10 at Optus Stadium. Now, Freo obviously got smashed by Geelong last week. I feel like that might be a bit of an outlier. Similar to Collingwood in the first round as well, in the opening round. Sydney are desperate. Both these teams are desperate for a win, but Sydney more so. They're 0-2 coming into this one. Let's have a look at the teams. You can start off with Freo if you want, mate.
Yeah, Fremantle... Look, they need to bounce back, and they've got a couple of handy inclusions coming back in the side.
Very good.
Some of the biggest of the round. Shai Bolton comes in for his Fremantle debut.
They needed him.
Last week. Just a little bit of spark in the midfield and the forward line, just to start something. You know, a bit of an energizer bunny.
Yep.
Neil Erasmus, Pat Voss, big tall forward as well, comes into the extended bench along with Will Brodie, who was tearing it up in preseason.
Yeah, he was good 2 years ago for the Suns and Freo, I think.
Perhaps probably a little bit stiff not to get his chance last week after a good preseason, as I mentioned, but out. Only one forced change. Sam Switkowski goes
one of the best names.
Side.
I love Switkowski. Shai Bolton is such a big in. I'm actually very excited to see
a bit of a straight swap for Switkowski there.
Yeah. But a lot of their guys need to step up. You don't want to rely on Murphy Reid to kick a lot of your goals.
Oh, yeah, I feel like their midfield was also below par.
Well,
because Geelong's midfield isn't
amazing.
One of the best in the competition.
That's true.
So I expected a bit more from the likes of Brayshaw, Sarong, etc.
Yep. And then the Sydney team is out goes Lewis Malikan and Justin McInerney. Obviously, McInerney got suspended. In comes Hayden McLean, Peter Laddams, Caleb Mitchell, Angus Sheldrick comes back. And beef. Alex's man. He said slow cooked beef because he was really bad the other week, so he's just building into it. I can't believe I've just said that joke. He said that about 4 times. I said I wasn't going to say that, but I did. And then last in is Jack Buller. I feel like Sheldrick and Buller probably won't play just because this is an extended bench, but you never know. Hayden McLean. Peter Adams is an interesting one. He's been around the block a bit. The one I'm looking forward to this weekend is where Sam Wicks goes, because he's been really good at tagging. So he tagged Nick Watson out of the game for opening round. He then tagged someone out.
Against Brizzy, Lockie Neal.
Lockie Neal only had 10 touches, his worst game probably of his career.
Yep.
And then you come up this week, is he going to go to Brayshaw, Sarong? I think it'll be one of those two.
I think possibly Sarong.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I agree.
I think he probably has slightly bigger impact than Brayshaw.
Yeah. Brayshaw kicks a few more goals, but Sarong gets the more clearances, I think. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to watch that one. A few more stats. Sydney have actually won the last 4 matches they've played at Optus Stadium, and 3 of those were against Freo.
Yeah. So if you're thinking, the majority of those were against West Coast, and
3 of them were against Freo.
3 of them against Freo. So,
and I just think both teams really need a win, because Freo, for confidence, everyone's saying they're top 4.
Yeah.
And then
I think there's a lot of expectation. Obviously, the Justin Longmuir, why would he sign that?
Weird contract,
that weird contract and extension earlier in the year, when you want to sort of see if he actually...
There's a bit of pressure on him,
Yeah, can still put up the fight, but look, Freo, I reckon, arguably this is a bigger game for Fremantle than it is Sydney, in my opinion. At home, I know Sydney
can go 0-3.
I know Sydney can go 0-3, but they've shown they can come back from 0-5.
That's true.
They've done it before, and it's not like they lost one of their opening games to a poor team.
They've lost to 2 really good teams.
Hawthorn and the reigning premiers.
That's true. If Freo don't win this, they'll lose a lot of confidence. Yeah,
I agree with that
one.
So, yeah.
Looking at the odds with Tab in this one, Fremantle are the favourites at home, $1.62. Sydney, $2.30. They're very desperate for a win. Now, if you've been watching this show, you're going to get the same from me for Sydney every week. My best bet in this one is Chad Warner, 2+ goals, $2.90 with Tab if you jump on right now. Last week was $2.60. It hit. The week before was $3.75. It hit. And you still get $2.90. So I think he's been charging out of the midfield. He looks for the goals. He's a bit of a hungry man. So he looks for the goals every time. 2+ goals, $2.90 with Tab. I'm really keen on. All right. Let's finish off. Last game of the round, tips and margin. Marcus, what do you reckon?
It's going to be one of the closest games of the weekend, in my opinion.
Yes.
And purely off home ground advantage, I'm going to go Fremantle by kick.
By kick?
Yeah. 2 points to be exact, if you want an exact margin.
I would like an exact margin. I'm going to go Freo by 2 goals, 12 points. I think I agree with you. This is actually probably the hardest game to pick. I think just at home, the home crowd will fire up and they'll bounce back and get a win.
Agreed.
All right. Now hear from our sponsors with Tab.
Tonight's game's going to be epic.
Missed by 1 on the AFL? With Tab, you can stay in the game. Miss by 1 on any disposals leg, and Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Tab. We're on.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Big calls of the weekend. My favourite part of the Thursday night show. We always like to argue a lot about these. There's always comments about our big calls. So we'll be tracking these throughout the year. What's your big call, Marcus?
My big call, I've already hinted at it, but I think we're going to see the first 100+ point margin of the season, and I've got a feeling it'll come in that Brisbane West Coast game.
Really? 100? Yeah, actually, no, I don't mind that, because there's going to be a few games that could get to that.
Yep.
But Brisbane's the most likely. 100 points. We don't see them very often anymore, because even people thought Richmond, but they looked all right and things like that.
Exactly.
All right. My big call is the Pies. I think they're going to absolutely smash the Dogs. 40+ points. I'm going 45 points. They're going to beat the Bulldogs by. Footscray.
Go 10 goals. That's not a big call.
Oh, fine, I'll go 10
points.
goals.
Yeah,
why
10
not?
goals.
He's talking into it. Footscray. It's your big 100th anniversary. No, they're going to stink on that, especially it's at the G. Why did you ask to play them at the MCG where they literally live and breathe? No good. Dogs will get absolutely smashed. They got a lot of outs as well. So I think that's my big call.
Yep.
Lastly, I really love your one in this one. What to keep an eye on in round 2. I'm happy to
love it. You love it. Is that weird?
It's just funny.
Is it weird that you love to keep an eye on Sam Layla's shorts this weekend? Obviously, I don't have to say it. Everyone knows what happened.
Just tighten them up.
If you haven't seen, look at Sam Law's second goal celebration, running into the open goal against Carlton.
Well,
he may have been a little bit too excited, or he could not been wearing underwear. But
what is he doing?
Keep an eye out. He's gonna wear 2 pairs this weekend.
2 pairs of shorts.
Two pairs of shorts. He might go the basketball shorts just to be safe.
Well, Michael Jordan famously wore 2 pairs of shorts every single game. He wore his North Carolina underneath, so maybe he's going for the GOAT.
Well, I do like that he's got banter about it as well. Did you see his Instagram post?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
His caption,
there was
put
a
the
little
eggplant emoji in there.
Emoji.
That's what I'm keeping an eye on.
You're keeping an eye on
I don't know why. I'll do a normal one. I'll go North Melbourne. Keep an eye on North Melbourne.
Okay.
I think, if there is a chance they can pull off an upset, Melbourne at Marvel could be the one.
Yeah. I'm going to keep an eye on... who am I going to keep an eye on? I'm trying to actually think. I was going to keep an eye on a few Supercoach players. Sartis, because I'm very tempted to trade him out in Supercoach just because Bit disappointing, but he still had 18 disposals, so he started a bit slow. And then I'll keep an eye on. I'm happy with North Melbourne as well. I think actually Melbourne, because if they smash,
what do you mean you're happy with North Melbourne? Then change to Melbourne.
I'm changing
who they're playing.
Like Melbourne is, I'm keeping an eye on just because if they smash North, I feel like they're back and they've sort of got their mojo back because they looked really good against GWS.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just what I'm keeping an eye on.
Interesting.
I'll be there watching very closely and on edge probably. All right, I'm wrapping it up. That's it for the AFL Today Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe to AFL Today on YouTube and follow us on X, Facebook, and TikTok. Facebook is actually Aussie Rules Today, and more footy content will be there all season long. Subscribe, star, and like all of our shows on your podcast apps as well. That's Cricket Today Show, AFL Today Show, Hold All Tickets, True Bloods. There's a lot of True Blood stuff, Sydney stuff. So if you're a Sydney fan, even if you're not, it's a very fun podcast. They've even got a Will Sparks intro.
Will Sparks is their intro.
We need to get Will Sparks here to do an intro for us. So we'll speak to Gerald, the producer, about that one. All right, thanks very much to Gerald behind the camera. I was going to say thanks to Leo. I hope you feel better, mate, but we're missing you here.
If he's not going to the Hawthorn game tonight, then fair play.
That must be sick.
He must be pretty crook.
Exactly.
But he'll be back next Thursday.
He'll be back next Thursday.
But make sure, put stuff in the comments. You might read them out in future shows.
Exactly right.
Obviously the giveaway next week as well, so prep for that.
Exactly. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, Stats Guy.
Good luck to the Bombers.
Yes, we need it.
Yeah, you need it. And thank you to our sponsors at Tab with their AFL Missed by One. If your disposals leg missed by one, Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Download the Tab app today. What are you really gambling with? See you on Sunday to wrap up all things round 2. We'll catch you then on AFL Today.
Tonight's game's going to be epic.
Missed by one on the AFL? With Tab, you can stay in the game. Missed by one on any disposals leg, and Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Tab. We're on.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.